Okay, at this point, we should have gone through the syllabus by now. You have installed CATIA successfully to your personal computer. If you were not able to install that to your home computer, you'll need to access CATIA through the AWS. So hopefully that has been addressed, and we're moving on to the infrastructure of CATIA. We're going to talk about how to open up data sets and identify the graphic screens, so you'll know what's what when you're looking at your CATIA data sets or your CATIA models. So we'll start by opening and saving a part and closing a part, and how to access the sketch environment. I will then create a video on opening up drawings, assemblies, as well as detail parts and wireframe parts, just so you get an orientation here, and then we'll go over how to manipulate them by zooming in and out. Alright, so if I have an existing model, you have what's called the specification tree. So we're here on the left. On the top, we have what's called a compass. The 3D compass is the 3D on the compass is the part that we go to the most frequent, and it's how we change the workbenches, or what's now called the applications. Over here on the right, you have what's called part design. That is a current application or workbench that we're in. Here you have several different tabs showing, and it's different models I have called up. If I click on any one of those tabs, it shows me what's in those particular models. If I hit this arrow here, it says play. If I click the play button, what it does is just kind of lets you sit back, relax, and watch the slideshow as it shows you different orientations of the part. If you look down at the bottom, you'll see what might look familiar is forwards, rewind, pause, and exits. This is very common for many of the features that we use in the 3D experience. I'll go ahead and exit this out. We've got a chance to see that do its thing. So these are your different work tabs, or different data sets. These are all called data sets. All right, I currently have 4 different data sets or 4 different models opened at this time. The folder that they're all in is in the ENG 185 folder. If I click on this, I cannot switch to any other folder due to the fact that this is open. All these models would have to be closed before I could switch into another folder. One of the things you're going to need to get familiar with is the preferences. Legacy preferences is what we're going to be showing you how to set up. So when you click on your legacy preferences, these are basically your standards, and we'll go through all the different options all along this tree, what all needs to be set up. Okay, so legacy preferences, again, are found under your initials. Right here, my initial is DP for David Promasio. This is how I can import existing old models. So if I want to import a CATIA file from the previous version, CATIA v5, I can import them. If I hit this down arrow here, this is how I can save models. Okay. All right. These here are also ways of which you can manipulate your part by zooming, panning, or rotating. And this over here is also known as a compass. It allows me to manipulate the part here. Down here in the very bottom, these are all called your features. These are all features on the bottom. You'll notice that there's tabs above the features. Each tab holds different types of features depending on what it is you need to do. These tabs are also known as tools. So for example, if I ask you to go to the tool called Model, you would hit the tab over here named Model, and you would select whichever feature your instructor is asking you to grab. These again are all features on the bottom. If I right click, okay, assuming you have established an account, you should get an email back that would allow you to actually access the 3D experience. You'll get an email from the Dassault system, so it'll look like this. I just keep that there, and every time you go to your email, you can open this up. I just sign in, and it should remember you. You might have to type in your password, but once you get in, to open up Part Design, you hit the 3D on your compass, and you hit Part Design. So you'll need access to your email. This is my instructor email account. Okay, you'll need your student email account, and this is where the email will go. You cannot use your personal account. I saved my email in the 3D Experience folder. I created a 3D Experience folder. The email is called Dassault Systems. Okay, I just save it so I can open it and go right back in and open that every time I want to go to CATIA. I know it goes to the right server every time as long as I use that technique. Okay, so when I hit that 3D and hit Part Design, it's going to take a little while. This little button's going to come up, and eventually you'll get into the 3D Part Design. Other things you'll need to have is a Canvas account. So this is currently the 185 Canvas class. You'll need to have access to that. Why is that open? Okay. This is CATIA. When it comes up, you'll get this Discover Make Sense Service pop-up window. You can just close that off every time. Okay, and that's a CATIA screen. I'm going to hit this down arrow. The other thing you'll need access is to the AWS. So I think, if I have it right, on the syllabus, there is a website that you have to log into to get your AWS account. They'll give you the account. Once you get the AWS account, they'll send you an email. It'll look something like this. You'll have that link. I can click on this link and then log into my AWS account. And again, that will take some time to get in. The one you're going to want to use is this Engineering 3D Experience. And that will take a little while to do its thing. I'm going to click on the bottom tab to see if my CATIA is active. Yes, my CATIA is still active. All right. We've gone through and showed you all these different features in the graphics screen. Now I'm going to go ahead and close this off. Yours will probably say common up here. So once you've got an account, you need to let your instructor know your account is set up. Once your account's set up, your instructor can give you access to this ENG T185, so you can email your instructor, let them know you have access to Dassault and you're ready to get access to the folder called ENG T185. Again, the only way to access this is through here, this down arrow, and with everything turned off. So with everything turned off, if I hit 3D in the top compass on the left and I hit Part Design, that's how I open up a brand new Part Design model. Okay, and this thing here is telling me it's thinking, God, I hope it's getting in there, going into my AWS. Once you're in model, this is your specification tree showing you everything. You can build whatever it is you want to build, and then you can save it. So, for example, if I were to select on the tab called Model on the bottom, there's one down here called Sketch. If I click on that sketch, I can click on this YZ plane and say OK, and it will take me to an environment called Sketch, which will allow me to sketch a shape. Once I've sketched my shape, I can get out of this feature by hitting Exit. Under Standard, you'll see the Exit application. It gets me out of the Sketcher environment. I can tell I'm in the Sketcher environment because as I look at the screen, I can see a grid. I can see a vector that is yellow that has H and V representing your horizontal and vertical axes. I also can see it says Sketcher on the top left corner. So the 3D Experience Workbench application I'm in right now is called Sketcher. So again, to get out of that Sketcher environment, on the very bottom, there's an Exit application. You can hit the Exit application and it will take us out and will return us back into the 3D environment with the XYZ axis. You don't have the axis set up. That's simply because we have not yet set up your standards to turn on the axis. You probably just have 3 planes representing the axis system. So for now, that's fine. Again, to save it, before I would save it, what I would do is rename it. So if I click on this and hit right click, it pulls up what's called the contextual menu. When I get the contextual menu up, I can go to properties, and then I can hit the title, and I could change the title to ENG 185 class and select OK. When I do that, you'll notice in the specification tree it's been renamed. Now to save that, and I'm not asking you to do this, I'm just letting you know this is the features. You would hit this arrow and you'll see the save command. That model is saved. If you want to go home for the day, the safest thing to do is to close this off by minimizing the box so you can see the X to close it. Okay. Again, I know the model's off. If I want to check and see if it's actually there, I might type in ENGT. Let's just type in class. I can't imagine I have too many things called class. I got 27 items called class, I guess. Oh, shoot. I think I called it ENGT 185 class. And, why don't I see it? I wonder if it didn't save it because I had absolutely nothing in there. Anyways, that's how I would find it. Let's see what I got. It's called ENGT 185. Oh, I got lots of stuff. So, yeah. I'm surprised I don't see that in there. Oh, yeah, here's the thing. Don't get alarmed. This could take 15, 20 minutes to actually save in there, and the reason being is it's going to the cloud. So sometimes when you save something, it takes a long time, and it's kind of scary whether or not it's actually getting saved, but 90% of the time it seems to get it, maybe 99%, I don't know. Sometimes it is kind of flaky though, and people tell me it never gets saved. So I wish it had a faster way of registering back that it got saved, but apparently it's not right now. But I'm sure it will be. So I'll close this off. Close this down to go home for the day. Make sure you close this off. And then, oh, I got to finish signing in with my AWS. This icon up here is what you need to have logged off. Okay, so when you're done, if you don't log off, it gives you all kinds of saving issues. Okay, so what you're going to do here is under your name, there's a logout command. You actually log all the way out. So you get back to this window, and you know that you can safely turn your computer off, and you shouldn't have any issues with trying to get back in. If you don't log off that way, you may be in a situation where it won't come back up. So like, let's say I left this computer and I went to another computer in a different office and I tried to access it, it won't let me access that. I would be stuck waiting for it to log off the system. Or you have to go back to the system that you were on, log on, and try and get back in. Sometimes it doesn't like to let you back into that system. Alright, so that's basically how you open, save, and close parts off. I showed you how to open a sketcher. We're going to do it several times throughout the rest of the class. In the next videos, you'll see examples of some drawings and assemblies, surfaces, detailed parts, and how to manipulate those.